Hello and welcome to Mega Man X3. This one's going to be a little weird to me. Hold on. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, I always have to do that. Always have to make sure I have a good sync point. But this playthrough is going to be a little bit weird to me because I've never played the Super Nintendo version of this game before. Every time I've played any of the X games prior to this, aside from owning the PC version of X7, if you can believe it, has always been on the GameCube X Collection, which included the PlayStation 1 version of X3. Now granted, for the most part the games are the same, but that intro was new to me. And it does a much better job than the PS1 intro, though the PS1 intro is just cooler. X, I'll clear out the enemies out here. You go ahead and deal with the ones inside. And we start off much the same way as X2 did, in the middle of a previously established attack. Playing as X, who has all the same moves he had at the start of X2. Yeah, he didn't carry anything over like he did the dash. See, no air dash. So it's just to here, and I love this song, by the way. The PS1, there's obviously a big debate between the which version of the soundtrack is superior, PS1 or SNES. This is the only song where I say that the SNES version is unquestionably superior. Mac, where have you been? Hello, Mac. You're far too trusting, X. I'm now a member of Doppler's army. You will make a fine addition to our forces once you have been shown the true destiny of the Reploid race. It's a long way away, though. And wow, immediately X has been captured, and Mac has betrayed us. Not Mac. So when X is in trouble, who rescues him? Who else but Zero? And immediately shows off some amazing competency by just taking a bunch of damage. But yes, for the very first time, we can play as Zero. This was a big deal, because Zero's awesome. Assuming I can hit anything. And yep, he's got a standard buster, he's got a much bigger health bar than X. He can charge up a lot to deliver 2 powerful saber slashes, followed by a incredibly damaging saber swing. Switch walls when you're climbing up here so that the spike balls don't hit you. Oh, unless of course you totally lose your grip. It's fine though, I'll just keep charging again. Zero's theme is also excellent. I love this song. X3's soundtrack as a whole is not that great, but it starts off with 2 heavy-hitting awesome songs. Now we need to take out the traitor Mac. He's clearly going to be a very difficult fight. He's got Ray Splasher. Odd. Oh, whoops. I accidentally lost the saber. I wanted to show off how powerful the saber is, but that isn't going to happen. Zero tends to die a lot faster than X, and I always like to save X with the saber. Assuming I can actually hit him. I'm going to do this, okay? Let me have this. There we go. I just always like doing that. Are you okay, X? Thanks, Zero. I'm okay. I'll check around headquarters again. Be on your guard, X. Don't let that happen again. And X's health bar just drops right back down. We're back to playing as X. And no, that isn't the only time you get to play Zero. You can switch to him anytime. But if you're playing this game correctly, that's pretty much the only time you're going to be playing as Zero. Because frankly, Zero's not that good. He's powerful early on in the game, but as you continue to go along with X, X just becomes more powerful. It just becomes better. And we have Intro Boss, pretty much the same story as X2, in that he's really big but really easy. Though he's not quite as easy as X2, because those spike balls tend to catch me a little more off guard. Though they still barely deal any damage. And also, he can destroy the floor. But either way, he's still pretty easy. If you die to this guy, then I don't know what to tell you. And let's see here. I always want to make it so that Zero falls into the hole so he's shorter than X. Looks like we swept most of the enemies out of here. I'll go back and check on headquarters. Isn't that what you were just doing? Call me if you need me. Yeah, that's... See you later, X. Yep, he's saying that we can now call on Zero anytime during a stage. But again, like I said, we're not going to do that. Because there's really no purpose to it. He can't do anything. So now we got our 8 Mavericks to fight. I'm going to start off with Blizzard Biffalo over here. Man, these introductions are weird to me. I'm used to the PS1 versions with the FMVs. So no auto cameo this time. Yeah, Blizzard Buffalo. The name I called him comes from a misspelling in the PS1 version, which is hilarious because since it's an FMV, if they ever re-release X3, it's impossible for them to ever fix it. Where they misspelled his name as Blizzard Buffalo, which was then expounded upon by Brain Scratch Comms by combining it with their old character now. They haven't talked about him in a while. Biffalo. So this is, X3 is pretty much mostly the same story as X2, and by extension X1. There's not too much to talk about in terms of gameplay, at least not yet. We have this mini boss room with nothing in it right now. I now realize that they brought this idea back for X8 since I've been playing that. I finished it. I've now finished every mainline X game, which is nice. Probably should have grabbed that health, but whatever. Either way, we're coming to Blizzard Buffalo first because much like Chill Penguin, he's harder than Chill Penguin, but I still don't think he's that bad. And also you can get the boots upgrade in this stage, though again, it's not mandatory and it's not as easy. You can do it. It just takes a little bit of practice. And there's a couple other upgrades in this stage that we can't get yet because we don't have the necessary upgrades. We can get that sub-tank too, but we have to come back for it once we get the dash. Or the air dash, I should say. This part of the stage is kind of annoying. There's no wind, despite what the overlay might tell you of snow. There's no wind. It's just that all the ground is ice. Oh, too late. And also, enemies do a surprising amount of damage, and it's also very difficult to get up these hills. And of course, if you scroll the camera, this guy respawns, so you can't easily climb back up. There we go. This might take me a few tries. Thankfully, you can still climb the walls. Oh, almost. Almost had it. Oh, almost hit me. I'll need to move back a little bit, though. Also, just to respawn this guy, so I have a bit of an easier time. Give me that. X3 is sort of considered the weak point of the Super Nintendo trilogy. I probably shouldn't charge a shot. There we go. It's not that hard to get up here. And with that, we get the air dash. It's nothing. It's obviously nothing we haven't seen in X2. It's the same as that air dash. The only difference is we can now use it to dash straight up into the air, sort of like a double jump. It's not so useful because it takes a little bit of wind up, as X will demonstrate here. It takes a bit of wind up before you can actually dash upwards. And I don't know, maybe there's some good times to use it, but I've never found them. And air dash makes maneuvering the hills a lot easier. So now we need to go back because I need to get the that sub-tank that we saw back there. Couldn't get it before, I can get it now though. Enemy placement in this game is not exactly ideal. I will give it that. It's not, X3 is not exactly a well-designed game. You know, coming back here is just a real pain. So I can understand why people would consider this the weakest. And it's also just kind of cluttered. You'll see what I mean later. But personally, the reason I like it is just because it's less boring than X2. So, you know, it's flawed, but at least I think it's interesting. So, I'll give it credit for that. There you go. That's how you get it. Of course, the problem is I'm close to death, so I need to hope someone drops some big health. I said someone drops some big health. See, this time I'm not ashamed to be at low health during the first stage, because X3 is hard. I'm very curious to how it's going to go when I have to talk as well. Because I'm honestly not that bad at this. Of course, this time I get that perfectly. And thankfully, these shots don't hurt you, but they do sort of lock you in place. Okay. I may just grind here a little bit for just a little bit of health. I'm not going to need that much. Because it's pretty... If you know what you're doing, it's not that hard to beat Blizzard Buffalo without taking damage. One more should do it. Okay, I was hoping he would actually drop it there. Come on. After I say one more, he won't actually drop anything. Come on. I hate this. There we go. Okay, that'll do. That should be enough. It's obviously a dangerous thing to say because this guy can deal a lot of damage. You just have to avoid getting hit. From what I understand, he's not exactly an incredibly popular pick for first Maverick, but I think he works. Because his pattern's very easy. Much like every other boss in this game, it's go left. Ow. That's really his most dangerous attack. It's go left, go right, go left, go right. Boss design in this game is not amazing. There's absolutely a lot of flaws with this game. You want to wait to jump off the wall as late as you can so that he crashes into the wall, since that stuns him a little longer. And that gives you a little more time to escape in this direction. I don't think this fight takes quite as long as Wheelgator did, so I can give it that, but... And I'm... Oh, watch out for that. His giant ice wave. So just hang up here and it won't actually hit you. Oh, we narrowly escaped that one. I'm having a bit of a hard time. The problem is that I have plenty I want to talk about with X3, but it doesn't get introduced until later, so for right now I don't have anything to talk about. I just sort of have to wait for now and just fight the Mavericks the same way I always would. I can only talk about stuff that's happening in the moment, and I've already said everything I need to say about Blizzard Buffalo. I mean, I guess I can talk about why I'm not using Zero. Oh, he shot that one high. It's okay. Still gets destroyed from the impact of him hitting the wall. The reason I'm not playing is Zero, besides all the reasons I didn't move. I said, yeah, you know, he doesn't get as powerful as X. He doesn't get any upgrades, period. There we go. And there he goes. There's also simply the fact that you can't go through any door with him. Like boss doors, the mini-boss doors that are in every stage that we saw earlier. You just can't go through any of them. Once you use Zero once in a stage and you switch back to X, Zero's unavailable for the rest of the stage. If you're already in a boss room, you can't switch to him. And if he dies once, anywhere in the game, then he is gone forever. So there is one point in the game that's worthwhile to use him in, and you save it until then. Next is Toxic Seahorse. There is a ROM hack of the game called the Zero Project, which lets Zero collect heart tanks, sub-tanks, armor capsules to become Black Zero, lets him go through doors. So it basically makes Zero a full-fledged playable character in the same vein as X. And I have played that ROM hack. It is cool that it exists. The only problem is this game was not built for Zero. These guys are annoying. Okay, no, it's not these ones. I mean, these guys are still annoying, but there's a later version of them where once you destroy them, they do that, they blow up, but they reveal a second form. They can still attack while they're blowing up, but they're invincible during that time. So there's just a period where you can't hit them. It's annoying. I don't mind Toxic Seahorse's theme either. Like that guitar riff there. Mwah. Oh, careful. I don't want to get hit, so I can collect this for my sub-tank. I'm going to be going, despite the fact that X3 is definitely the X game in the Super Nintendo games to have the most collectibles, I am going to be going for all of them, just because that's just the way I always play it, so it's easy for me. I'm there to get a little bit of health that washes down in the water. And for the easiest heart tank in the world to find, just continue climbing this wall. Hey there. And there's a heart tank. Right there for you. Good. Oh, I saw a little bit of screen tearing. Oh, ooh, there's that flame judder again. Ooh. Ooh. Ugh. That is not good. Okay, looks like it's gone now. I really hope Capcom patches this collection, because a lot of people, no matter what platform they're on, a lot of people have noted that they're having issues with the first, pretty much only the first 3 games. But either way, It's definitely a problem, and it should be fixed. I don't think it'd be that hard to fix. And you know, Capcom updates these Legacy collections. You know, they just like years later, they just updated the original Legacy collection to include the extra features that were in the Switch port. Though the 3DS version is sadly left out. I'd be fine if it didn't get like the rewind feature or anything, because I don't use that anyway. But I remember it being a thing back when it came out that for whatever reason, the English version and only the English version of Mega Man 5 just doesn't, like, has weird slowdown issues that shouldn't be there. And it's only the English version. If you switch over to the Japanese version, it's perfectly fine. Which, I mean, considering that the classic games are not text heavy, it's not that big a deal. You know, you can easily just play the Japanese version, but it's a weird problem. And apparently, like, after they finished making the game, their like contract, I guess the way the contracting worked between Digital Eclipse and Capcom was like Capcom has to ask them to patch it, and they didn't see it as a big enough issue, so it didn't get patched. Thankfully, it's only an issue on the 3DS version, which nowadays is likely the version you're least likely going to get, because if you want to play it portable, now you can get it on the Switch, and also get 7, 8, 9, and 10. But, you know, I already bought that 3DS version, because I don't have a Switch. I bought it before the Switch was a thing, and, I forget what else I was going to say. I wanted to play portable because I already have Anniversary Collection, I guess. Ooh, that was a mistake. Do not drop down here. I've made that mistake too many times. Okay, well, you can drop down here, but don't veer to the left. That is a mistake I have made. By the way, we're at the end of the stage. And now you get to see the best part of X3, just how much this game gets broken when you use their boss weaknesses. I hate this color scheme, by the way. It looks so garish. That's a word you weren't expecting me to use, but whatever. All you have to do is hit him once, and fight's yours. Especially considering it lingers, so you can just sort of fire it before he jumps. This is the entire fight. Because his invincibility frames wear off right when he lands, right on top of it. It's like Toadman. I win. Most of the bosses in this game are like that when you use their weaknesses. It's a little bit sad. We finished 2 stages, and that means we get plot. First, I get my weapon. No FMV cutscene here, which is kind of nice because the FMV cutscene completely spoils the twist. He's the Maverick hunter I failed to catch last time. Last time? You were there, huh? I had no idea he's so powerful. Bit and bite! So these are our new replacement X-Hunters. Bring that Maverick hunter to me. Alive, if possible. Affirmative, Dr. Doppler. And it's not just the 2 of them, but also this mysterious Maverick without even a space. Alive, Dr. Doppler? You are so kind. Watch your mouth, or I'll put you back where I found you. Even with your enhancements, you're still no match for me. Thanks for the upgrade, Doctor, but I have a score to settle. And I'll do it my way. Fine, just make sure you do it. I still can't believe that Maverick Hunter defeated my master twice in the past. Well, there we go. Well, doesn't even matter what the FMV cutscene would spoil. He already just said he works for Sigma. So now Bit and Bite are a thing, and I'm going to call part 2 here. Part 1, I should say. See you next time for part 2.